Hey, this is Splatterhead.
And this is Fitz.
And you're listening to the Fan Club Blitz.
7 drunken nights and called out for another round of 7 drunken pints. So have a drink, you bastards, cause there's no time left to lose. It's nearly time for closing and we're running out of booze. So have a drink, you bastards, cause the morning's nearly here. The open road's before us, so let's have another beer. If I could.
Another just atrocious penalty.
The Raiders and the Chiefs are football versions of the Hatfields and McCoys.
These two teams have been playing each other twice a year since 1960.
If there's bad blood in one game, it's going to fester next time, and then next year, and then the next time next year.
Clear as day that he ripped the helmet right off.
This is the reason why you hate him. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to bury him.
No matter what the records are, that game's going to be intense, and it's going to come down to the wire.
Hey, Fitz.
What's happening?
Where the hell are we?
Oh, I feel like I've been abducted.
I'm looking around. There's nothing but Chiefs crap hanging up all over the walls. This is not the Irish Cottage Inn.
No, it feels like a bunch of hooligans came in here with many bottles of mustard and ketchup and just started spraying the walls.
Probably a bunch of dirty Raiders fans came in here, sprayed the walls with ketchup and mustard. Chiefs colors.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a little bit nauseating.
It is. It is.
You know, they say sometimes colors can set off like an epileptic seizure. I'm thinking that this would be the place that would happen.
Right. But hey, the black hole came in.
Yes, we're here for business. And not for nothing. I just want to mention that music that we come into. Doesn't it feel like that song was actually written for our show?
I didn't hear it.
The Have a Drink, You Bastards.
Oh, Have a Drink, You Bastards. That's right.
It feels like that was actually written for us. I was thinking about that the other day when I was listening to our podcast, and I'm like, this song is us. Have a drink, you bastards. And all the lyrics that proceed just fit us to a T.
Absolutely.
And speaking of that, I must say, Mr. Tom did a great job filling in for me. While, as he said, I was cocktailing on the beach, which I was. And I knew you two clowns well enough that I was sitting on the beach cocktailing, as he said, saying to myself, what are they going to say about me being retired and on vacation? I knew it. Then I heard it, and then I said, the hell do I care? I'm retired and I'm on vacation. I'm having cocktails on the beach, and that's when I stopped thinking about it.
Did your wife hear it?
No.
Because she's going to want that house painted.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. I can't paint aluminum siding.
And you don't have to cut the grass because that's what Liam's for.
That's right. So listen. I'm burned out. I need a break. Being retired is not as easy as everybody thinks.
What's hard about it?
You know, it's very difficult keeping the local liquor stores in business. I feel like I have an obligation to make these people work. And so I have to go there daily, pick up my allotment, and I have a standard to live up to. It's not easy, but somebody has to live up to the standard. I'm trying to keep people in business.
All right. That sounds good to me, man.
What are you going to do?
So, I can't get...
I know. There's so much yellow and red.
This place is just spackled in Chiefs memorabilia.
Oh, it's horrible. Horrible.
But this is a good thing about having this show, right? Because we can, as opposed to just talking about Raiders stuff and Raiders clubs, we can, reach out to guys like this. The Donkeys fans, the Chokers fans, they didn't even answer my emails.
Right. That's why, like I told you, I give these guys kudos that not only did they answer you, but they had the fortitude to invite us to come to their place.
Absolutely.
And I can't stand the team, but I appreciate that coming from the fans. It's a good mentality. I appreciate it because we would have done the same. We would come to us. You can come hang out with us at our Raiders bar. That's fine.
Yeah, come down on Raider Day.
Absolutely.
That's what they call it in Kansas City. When the Raiders come to town, they call it Raider Day. They all get geared up.
Yeah. And then usually the next day they call it Wah Wah Day because it's,
I wish that was true.
I'm going in years past.
Yeah. I wish that was true because lately, usually that hasn't been the case. But we'll see what happens, right?
Yes.
We did pretty good last year, but they made us score 6 touchdowns in order to get 6 points.
Yes.
That was in Oakland, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was in Oakland.
That was an Oakland game, so we went to Kansas City and lost. But maybe we'll change that this year.
I'm hoping so.
That's the goal always, beat the Chiefs.
Yes. The Chiefs, the Donkeys, the Chokers. Those are our first order of business always.
Especially the Chiefs.
Yeah, we can go back to let's go back to the crybaby Len Dawson. Oh, Ben Davidson hit me late days and wah. Come on, stop.
Hey, man, get out of the way.
Exactly.
Pay attention to what's going on.
Exactly. You're playing a team that was known for its hitting, and you're talking the late 60s, early 70s. Anything kind of went. So, you know what? Stop crying.
Yeah, absolutely. Bunch of crybabies.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive. I think Ben Davidson came on an episode of Inside the NFL when Len Dawson was hosting. And I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me correct, I might be wrong, and this might be like folklore. May not be true. I don't know. But it's still a great story regardless. That he came onto the set with a Raiders helmet that had all the red markings of Chiefs helmets on it with a big grin and walked up to Dawson, and they said Dawson got so pissed off he walked off the set.
It sounds legit.
And if it's not, it's still a great story.
Absolutely. I'll take it. So speaking of talking to other clubs, here's something that I didn't bring up because I found out afterwards, but we talked to Igor from the New York City Dolphins or Dolphins New York City Dolphins fan club.
Right.
And turns out that, they meet at a pub, an Irish pub called Slattery's Midtown.
Right.
And just by a sheer coincidence, Slattery's Midtown is owned by Peter, who owns, is a co-owner of the Irish Cottage Inn. Slattery's Midtown is owned by Peter's brother.
Yeah, go figure.
And Peter's wife actually kind of manages the place.
Small world.
It is. That's a small world, and that's pretty freaky. I reached out to Igor and let him know that. He had no idea either. Would have been kind of cool to know before the interview. We could have talked about that. That would have been good stuff. Yeah, no, that's actually good, and that would be cool when we all get together in our Raiders gear and go to a Dolphins Jets game just to root against the Jets. Yeah,
we have that little connection now.
That'd be good stuff. One of the things that I want to do is they do the MetLife takeover every year when they play the Jets. So maybe we'll go to that game because Jets-Dolphins games are pretty cheap.
Yeah, because really, who wants to watch either team play?
Right, but maybe we'll go to that game and we'll do an interview with Igor again from MetLife Stadium. Otherwise, we'll get him on like a week before or the week after, see how it went.
Sure. Even at the very least, I'll go to the tailgate.
Right, yeah, we could do that. Go to the tailgate, hang out, because I saw a Jets-Dolphins game once, and it was terrible.
Yeah, listen, love them or hate them, with unless the Patriots are playing, any AFC East matchups are just excruciating. It's horrible, horrible games, and I'm not giving any kudos to the Patriots because the Patriots are whatever they are, but at least they put points on the board, they get the ball in the air. Otherwise, some of these games, it's like watching paint dry. It's horrible. Yeah,
it's like actually my experience was it was like watching dodgeball. It was like 100-yard dodgeball. Yes. It was great. Both teams were terrible. They just stank up the joint. But I believe the Dolphins actually ended up winning that game.
Yeah, and like I said, that's like if I'm taking a task, I'm going to have to root for the Dolphins because I can never bring myself to root for the Jets.
Right.
Unless they're playing the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah. Or anybody in our division. Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, I think we have some people queued up here that would like to get on the mic and maybe talk to some Chiefs fans. Talk to this guy who runs the Chiefs bar. He owns the place. Talk to him. We'll talk to a couple of his fans, and we'll get rolling with it.
The games with the Raiders were not games. No, games are fun, These were wars.
This gentleman has been working for 7 years over in Candlestick Park, and that's only 7 miles of water away from that House of Horrors, the Oakland Coliseum.
We had guys that hated him. openly say, I hate the Raiders. And then if you talk to the Raiders football team, we hate the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, it's only a game, right? Not this one. This is not only a game. This is Raider Week.
All right, so as I said, we're here at a Kansas City Chiefs fan club bar. I got Josh, the owner, sitting here with me. You're from Kansas City, right?
I am indeed. Good to be with you.
All right, so how long you had this spot?
We've been here about 6 years now.
6 years, and it's always been a Kansas City Chiefs spot?
Pretty much. I mean, at the beginning, the Kansas City Chiefs kind of sucked, but, you know, as we've gotten better, the crowds have gotten better, and I'd have to say we're probably the Kansas City Chiefs bar in New York City for sure.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any other ones, and I've, do my research, look around, try and find fan clubs, especially fan clubs that are from, rival teams of ours, or else fan clubs who live in cities that are far away from home. So yeah. It's definitely yellow and red in here.
Well, we aim to make you feel as uncomfortable as possible in here, so
yeah.
I hope we're doing a good job.
Yeah, it's somebody came in here and squirted mustard and ketchup all over the walls and got those Chiefs colors flying.
I'm sure you can see there's probably some pictures of Tony Richardson running over a Raider in here somewhere.
Yeah,
Priest Holmes.
I can't see stuff like that. Block it out. You think you're ever going to win a playoff game with Andy Reid?
We did win one. We did. We
well,
got one. That's all right. I mean,
you ever going to make it past there with Andy Reid?
Oh well,
it seems to be his signature move is being a really good coach in the regular season, and then I don't know what happens.
Well, at least we can fire him without having to pay him off 8 years of his contract. So.
Oh, that was a burn, right?
I think we're in a good position this year. I think Andy Reid's always a winner unless I've missed something in the last 20 years. So
definitely a regular season winner.
Yeah. Well, there's very few Super Bowl winners except Bill Belichick that are consistent that I know of.
Right.
And John Gruden, I think, won one before he got fired.
No, I think he won one after he got fired. Yeah.
Oh, he got traded. That's right.
Yeah.
What'd you guys get for him anyway?
Yeah.
There's some trivia.
Yeah. We got our asses kicked. That's what we got for him.
That's all right. Maybe Tom Brady did fumble that ball. We'll never know.
Well, now, wait a minute. Everybody knows Tom Brady fumbled that ball.
Not the history books. Not the history books.
As a Chiefs fan, you of course want to say no, but watch it. That was a fumble.
As a Chiefs fan, I would like to be in a position to make that fumble.
The rules not even on the books anymore, so it's which is a good thing.
If we could just build a time machine, the Raiders might have been Super Bowl champions.
Brady was really looking for that rule again last season. A couple times where he was shouting out, Tuck rule? No.
Tom Brady I almost hate worse than the Raiders. Almost, but
right.
It's because he's a winner, so it's the opposite reason.
That's pretty funny. We're going to be interviewing the Dallas Cowboys fan club in New York City here in a couple of weeks, and a person that runs that sent me an email last night going, I think secretly, if anybody's being honest, everybody's going to admit that the Raiders are their second favorite team. And I said, I don't know, let me ask those Chiefs fans tomorrow.
You are when you beat the Broncos or the Chargers or something like that. And when you're the Vegas Raiders, I probably like you even a lot more, Right, yeah. I might even visit.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's going to be we're going to get a lot more visits from.
It's even though I'll lose all my money, I know I'll win some way when I go to Las Vegas.
Yeah. So tell me about your bar here. What's the address? What's all that stuff? So
we've been located over here in Long Island City in Queensboro of New York about 6 years, and we get a lot of awards for barbecue, and the Chiefs thing has all come kind of through osmosis, basically, because we're a Kansas City barbecue spot. So we've had some friends. I had a friend, Sarah McKimmey, who she basically started the whole group around here and started bringing more and more people in here. Then Tony Richardson, Hall of Famer Tony Richardson, lives right down the street here. and he's come in and guest bartended during games, and I got to go to his Hall of Fame induction and hang out in the owner's box and stuff. So that's been kind of cool. And that definitely helps you officialize yourself in the Kansas City realm, because I guarantee you the Irish Bar Show and Chiefs game in Manhattan does not have a Hall of Famer pouring you beers. So.
No, probably not. You also have Dante Hall comes in here.
Yeah, Dante
too.
Hall lives over in Jersey City. He comes in sporadically. If you're out there, Dante, congrats. He just had a kid a couple weeks ago. So
right on.
He doesn't make it that much, but always a fun guy to hang out with.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. What's the address here if people want to come find you?
1043 44th Drive in Long Island City. You look for the biggest tower in Queens. That is the Citibank Tower. We're right down the street. So
yeah,
that's our landmark.
All right, that's good. You got any questions, Fitz? He's just going to let me run with it.
Sure.
That's good, man.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to take a mic and interject, feel free.
Yeah, man, we got a couple other Chiefs fans here. You guys got anything you want to say?
We got Omar over here. You got Omar to my right. And over here we got Kurt. Kurt is, I'd say he's our number one, yell leader at John Brown Smokehouse.
All right.
And Omar, he's our number one drinker? No, Raul, you got.
I didn't know Chiefs fans drink.
Look, I have a lot of family that lives out on the West Coast. This is the place to watch football. I don't know how you guys are going to make it in Vegas. I really don't.
We don't either. We're going to find out.
I really don't. But everybody listening, come out to John Brown's. Raiders fans, Chiefs fans, come out and have a good time. Oh, maybe not.
He doesn't want to invite the Raiders fans?
No fighting.
Don't say that publicly.
It's going to be an interesting year. You guys have a lot of old players now on your team.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, we call it experienced players. Yeah.
I know, but that's when everything falls apart. You guys are paying a lot of money for these experienced players.
We'll see. Once training camp's over, we'll see how many experienced players we have left.
They have a lot of locker room leaders, just no one to lead other than Khalil Mack, I guess.
We'll find out.
Yeah. The one thing we've been saying, there's a lot of question marks this year, on both of our teams. So it's kind of hard to talk specific trash like we will kick your ass, because I'm not really sure, honestly, this year. If Mahomes throws 6 picks.
We have nothing to go by but last season, so we're not talking too much trash right now.
Yeah, and if we go by last season, let's talk some trash, because we're the current AFC West champions, 2-time champions.
Right, but you got a new quarterback now.
I know, and not new wide receivers, running back, and tight ends. So.
Well, he's got to get him the ball.
Throw me in there, and I'll get 1,000 yards out of somebody in there. We could even put Derek Carr in there and probably score a couple touchdowns.
Oh, I'm sure you could, but he's not coming. Derek Carr's not coming over.
We'll be coming for him.
Wow. Let's see what happens. All right,
gentlemen.
What's your name?
My name's Kurt Roner.
All right, Kurt. Kurt, another Kansas City Chiefs loyal fan.
Born, bred, lifelong, here till the bitter end.
Are you from Kansas City?
I was born in Bonner Springs, Kansas, right outside of KC.
All right. It's close, almost the same state.
We prefer to think of Kansas City as Kansas City, not Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas, because it's the rest of both Missouri and Kansas that keeps screwing Kansas City up.
Right.
So if we could just get rid of some of those other people,
we might
be
Missourians worse than Raiders. So
yeah. Once you get past Raytown, that's when things get iffy.
I don't know anything about the area other than I once went to a place called Beloit. I don't know where that is,
sorry.
But I was there once.
I don't even know where that's at.
Yeah, you start getting into some sketchy country once you get outside the city.
I just want to interject and say Chuck is, a.k.a. Splatterhead, is the furthest thing from Midwest that you're ever going to find. That being said, I'm going to hand it back over.
Right, yeah, I'm bi-coastal.
I hear that about Raiders.
And it's not even going to be the coast anymore. It's going to be the desert. I mean, it's going to get iffy. I mean, it's going to be interesting watching the stadium where it's 50% people from another team cheering.
Well, we'll see about that. That might be the way that it starts out, but now you're going to have a whole younger generation that's growing up with a home football team now, and eventually, they're going to be packing those stands too. So yeah, we'll see what happens the first few years. I expect we're going to get a lot of fans from outside. I think the stadium is actually good for the whole league and for all the fans. It gives everybody an opportunity to go lose a lot of money in Vegas, but they can get out there for cheap and get cheap rooms out there. I mean,
and you get a guaranteed football win every time you go out there.
I don't know about that.
You win one way or the other.
I'm just waiting for the first time the NCAA decides it's going to use that stadium for either football or basketball and see what happens then, because it's going to be interesting to see the gambling implications.
Well, the deal is you can pretty much gamble anywhere now, so it's
legal everywhere.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what the gambling implications are going to be, but you can gamble from anywhere now, and it's not whether you're in Vegas or you're in Jersey or wherever, you can still drop a bet on a game. So
yeah,
I think it'll be great because the demographics of Oakland, San Francisco seem to kind of changed away from hardcore football fans.
Right? Yeah, it's not necessarily. Oakland is no longer like, the Hells Angels and Black Panthers. It's hipsters drinking IPA with man buns. Right, people that can't afford San Francisco anymore.
It's basically little San Francisco.
I do have a question for you.
All right, let's go.
Now, there's been all this hype about Gruden. It seems like the Raiders are always chasing something, whether it's Derek Carr, Gruden, new stadium.
Fair enough.
How are you feeling about all this moving around? Because I don't like to admit this. I know way too many Raiders fans. For some reason, they gravitate toward you. As soon as they find out you're a Chiefs fan, they're like, "Oh, I hated my father too. I'm a Raiders fan." So, how's it like? I love the Chiefs because it's my hometown. I can talk to you about H. Rowe Bartle and why they're called the Chiefs. I can talk to you about Lamar Hunt. I can talk to you about that culture, that history. It goes. There's a naming nomenclature that goes with the Kansas City area. We had the Monarchs, then we had the Royals, we have the Chiefs. We've got all of that kind of culture built up in our sports blood. I will always be a Royals fan. I will always be a Sporting Kansas City fan. I will always be a Chiefs fan. Like I may live in New York City, but I'm not going to be a Jets or a Giants, a Yankees or a Mets fan. That's just not in me. Like how is it that people glom on to the Raiders?
Well, the Chiefs are, in my opinion, have always been more of a regional team as far as their fan base goes. Raiders have always had a sort of worldwide following, and a lot of it is based on mystique and based on that sort of 70s image and the Al Davis image. But as a fan who is from the East Bay in California, I became a Raiders fan, when I was 6-7 years old, and I lived in Berkeley, California, which, if you're not familiar, is right next to Oakland. It's a difficult thing for the fans who live in the Bay Area. I have friends out there that are just, when the news came in officially that we were moving, they lost it. And I remember as a young kid what happened when they packed up and moved down to L.A. It hurt. But as a fan who lives 3,000 miles away, it's not going to hit me the same way that it hits them. So what I've tried to do is sort of on social media and everything else is just stay out of it, because I'm not in Oakland and it's not going to hurt me the same way that it hurts fans who live there.
I can't say I'm still a Sacramento Kings fan or a St. Louis Blues fan, both which have been Kansas City teams at one point. If the Chiefs left, I don't know what I'd do.
Well, football's kind of, I don't really follow the other sports too much. I'm a football guy. I'm a Raiders guy. There's people out there that are not going to be Raiders fans anymore.
They're lucky.
I'd have to stop watching football altogether because I could never support another team.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is. If another team were to move to Oakland, I couldn't support that team.
Yeah.
There's a lot less man buns in Vegas. You could be going back to your roots with the degenerates in Vegas closer to the way Oakland used to be.
That's true. That's true because they do. They have a neighborhood in Vegas that they call the Two Strikes. And that's for all the Californians that have 2 felonies that have moved there so they don't get that 3rd strike. Yeah, look, the Raiders have a mystique. They have an image that kind of carries over with the fans, and we're loyal to the team. I've never professed any loyalty to the city of Oakland.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to the Raiders and to what the Raiders have always meant to me.
And your team's moved once, twice. You know, I mean.
No, I mean
it's practically like they're a vagrant.
You know, we played in Oakland, and then they left, and they went to L.A., and it was a huge, huge event in my life when they went back to Oakland because it's like, wow, the Raiders are coming home. But you got to look at it from the team's point of view. The only reason they came home was because Oakland promised, they made promises that they never lived up to.
We've seen your stadium.
It's a shithole, but it's our shithole. So we're, but again, you got a team with 3 rings that is playing on a baseball field. When you have teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars that are on their 19th stadium now.
Well, the next one will be Wembley, probably.
I don't want, I would, in an ideal world, the Raiders would be staying in Oakland, but they're not. And so I got to follow the team wherever they go. You put them in London at Wembley, and I would still follow them.
You could be a Niners fan.
No, I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, people don't understand outside of the Bay Area because, it's not a division rivalry. But that rivalry is huge, and it mainly surrounds the fans. You're either a Raiders fan or you're a 49ers fan, and it's the Battle of the Bay is,
You can tell the difference by looking, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the Battle of the Bay is a huge game for us. It, happens every few years, and, this is probably the last one.
Well, they haven't been in the Bay for a while anyway, the Niners. I mean,
they're in Santa Clara.
Yeah, they're like in Silicon Valley.
At least when we move to Vegas, we're not going to call ourselves the Oakland Raiders. Like the 2 New York City teams that play in New Jersey. There's only one New York team, and it's way up in Buffalo.
Well, New York always exports its trash.
Right.
We had to close down the Staten Island landfill a while ago, and since then we've had to send it further and further south. So that explains the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Hopefully we can introduce Chiefs fans that they may listen just because we know we're talking to you.
Sure.
And if there's Chiefs fans out there in the New York area, they know where to go now.
There's Chiefs fans that might hate the Raiders so bad that they listen to podcasts of
right.
Raiders.
Right. Especially Raiders talking to the Chiefs. Like I said, I reached out to the there's a couple Donkeys bars in New York, and there's a Chokers bar in New York, and they wouldn't even respond to me. And your response was classic. I think you started off telling me to go myself, and then
and then I invited you
and then invited us in, and that's great.
My Midwestern manners there.
Normally we do these interviews over the phone, even if I'm talking to somebody in New York, but I couldn't say no to that, right?
Yeah. Well, you had to get decent barbecue in New York, which it only exists in 1, maybe 2 places, but the best one's right here.
Uh-oh, Josh, he said 2 places. What's
we won't even name the other one.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
well, the second one will be opening hopefully here soon.
Oh yeah, my other restaurant, Mothership Meat Company, coming soon.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're opening another spot. It's here in Queens too?
Yeah, right down the road. So.
Right down the road, Long Island
Maybe
City.
we'll make it a Raiders bar.
I might yeah, there you go. I might have to come over. Here for lunch one day. I work one stop away in Manhattan on the E train. So
every fan base is welcome at John Brown's. Well, maybe not Mizzou. Well, actually, that's kind of that messes up everything. No. Kansas Cityans from Missouri. So.
No. That's no.
Yeah, I guess everybody's invited.
Hey.
Even Raiders fans, fine.
Yeah, we might have to make a trip up here for what do you guys call it? Raider Day? Is that what they call the?
Well, it's Raider Week, isn't it? Or
yeah, Raider
Chiefs
Week.
in Oakland or
no, we call it Raider Day every day in Oakland. It's
like just getting ready to lose this one.
We'll see. Nobody.
Chiefs Week.
There's nobody out there right now that knows what's going to happen this season. So
I
with
agree.
either team,
I'm looking forward to this year. I mean. I look forward to your success and a good draft pick this year. So.
Yeah. I wish you the same.
Here's to the Raiders getting the number 1 pick again.
Yeah,
that would be.
We wish you the same, but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's beauty of football. Like, put your power rankings up your ass. It's time to go.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got an opinion before there's even one preseason game, and then during the preseason they all want to talk smack too. But it's like, who cares?
And they're all like total pencil neck guys on TV. They're like, I know who's gonna be good this year. It's like, and then there's guest Tom Brady. And
I think that the guy Cowturd, he put us as the number 1 dumpster fire of the year.
Yeah.
So, but.
Well, that's every year. At least you guys are consistent.
Has he seen something I haven't seen? Because I haven't watched a game yet.
Some of the personnel moves. If you're playing a good game of Fox or something here, you're doing a pretty good job. Because, like I said when I was first talking to you, it was like, I think they signed George Blanda to that team. Like, they got everybody on there. Like Derek Johnson, he was good once.
Nah, you still love him.
Miss you, Derek.
No, you do.
Of course we love him, but you know.
Well, we'll see what he does for the Raiders. I mean, look, we need a good leader on the defense, and I think with Derek Johnson, we definitely will get that.
You got a big plus. I mean, he may have lost 5 or 6 steps, but he'll lead you right to where he should have been, I guess.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this thing turns out, man.
Yeah.
Again, until
I can't wait to hear the pads.
It's like when people ask me what I thought about our draft picks. I'll tell you in 4 years. I don't know.
Who did you draft? I mean,
our first pick was Colton Miller, offensive lineman, which maybe looks like a decent idea now since who knows what's going on with Penn. He's on the PUP list.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to think of that guy anymore. Anyway.
Yeah. At least the Chiefs, we just don't have one. First round. We have nothing to feel bad about because we didn't have a first round pick this year.
Nope.
No. Well, hey, again, we'll see what happens. Well, you guys got anything you want to shout out before we wrap up? Anything you want to say to Chiefs fans? Anything you want to say to Raiders fans? Anything at all? Feel free.
That would be an FCC violation. But hey, if you like good football, and I mean, if you're from another team and you show up and we're playing you, talking shall happen. Especially from me, especially come into the second half after a couple of incredibly good drafts from here at John Brown Smokehouse. But Chiefs fans, come on out. If you're in New York City and you like you like good barbecue. If you want decent barbecue or bad barbecue, there's plenty of places you can get that. But good food, good beer, good people, as long as they're not wearing black and silver.
You got a phone number for this spot?
917-617-1120.
All right. No, hey, Raider fans, be nice. Don't be calling the number. That number.
That's all right. Like, I got to test out our employees every now and then.
That number was thrown out there for people who want to find out about Chiefs. You guys doing any?
You can tell when the Raiders fans call too, because it's like they can't do complete sentences. It always sounds like somebody hit their head.
Here we go. Yeah.
You can hear their ankle bracelet beeping. Yeah.
You can smell the Just for Men. What color is that your owner has? That's unnatural.
I can't say anything to that. I got nothing. I got nothing about Mark Davis.
Yeah. There's a you guys are all welcome to jump on here.
Yeah, I got nothing for you. Well, man, it was cool. Thanks for inviting us down.
Hey, thanks for coming in, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll.
I will verify that you guys are pretty nice guys for being Raiders fans. You're probably in the top 1%. So.
Oh, look at that! Special. You know what? You guys are all right as Chiefs fans. We may make it to a to Raider Week game. That would be fun.
Down,
and you guys are always welcome to come to our place too. The other thing I always ask is, I don't know, you guys. I don't know if the Chiefs has like official booster clubs or anything like that. The Raiders do, and we're not one of them. We're part of the Black Hole, which is different thing, but we do a lot in the off season too with charity events and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys do any stuff like that. If you do, throw it out there.
John Brown does a lot as a group here. I mean, I don't think we haven't really done much outside of just getting wasted here and watching football. I mean, we do it for the kids.
All right. I think on that note. Yeah, you guys don't travel to KC or
We
anything
usually
for
have to take
games?
an Uber to get home from here. So.
All right.
No. Well, I mean,
I've had contact with some of these groups, and like we keep in touch. Like the Philly group got a hold of me one time because they're kind of a bigger one because of the Vermeil thing and all that. But,
right.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interaction, but it's basically just like we're our own island. We're our little Kansas City here, and you can go to get any kind of food in this town. Like go to the little Cambodia or a little China or whatever, but. Here's little Kansas City over in Queens. So.
All right.
No, we make it out to games. It's nothing official. It's normally somebody late at night goes, "Hey, the tickets are really cheap and I'm drunk. Do you want to go?"
All right, that's a good deal. That's kind of like I'll probably go. If I do make it to Oakland this year, I'll probably go to the Browns game, or I might go down to Florida to the Miami game because tickets are cheap and it'll.
I have to say that
should
most
be
games,
chalked up to a win. So.
I am right here most of the time. The only time I didn't come to a game here was when I went to Tony Richardson's Hall of Fame induction or whatever. But
there you go.
Yeah, this is the funnest place to going to the Lions Den watching games, i.e. like a visiting stadium. It sucks.
yeah. For us, it's big. I mean, we're at our place for 15 out of 16 games, but we always try each year to we're going down. We're going down to Baltimore this year because last time I went to a Raiders Baltimore game, we took over 2 parking lots down there, and it was a blast.
The biggest problem with going to a rival stadium is their tailgating always sucks in comparison. You go to Arrowhead, and those guys are smoking meat for 24 hours before every game. So
right,
and
you're just getting wasted in the back of like an SUV. Most other stadiums, you're getting wasted outside of the SUV, eating barbecue in Kansas City. So
and then spending 3 hours trying to get out of the parking lot. There's nothing better than coming here on a Sunday morning, seeing an early game, grabbing some burn-ins, hitting some cornbread, and drinking some of the best beer in town, and screaming at whatever team you want to hate that week. And of course, always the Raiders.
Right, a lot of feelings mutual. I mean, we're always cursing the Chiefs, no matter who's playing. I'll walk over to around the corner where they're showing other games, and just check on the Chiefs score so I can
go
see
to Arrowhead one of these days because it's an awesome experience. Even people who visit say it's an awesome experience.
That brings up a question that we got from one of our listeners that replied to a Facebook comment. He wanted to know what's it like for a Raiders fan at Arrowhead on Raiders Week, and also what's in the area. What's the best barbecue spot?
I would say just to start off, I think generally Kansas Cityans are pretty cool to visiting people, even Raiders. But if you're like an average Raiders fan, which means like probably got a knife on you or something, then like it could get messy. But for the most part, I've never been to a Chiefs game where I saw just like chaos in the parking lot because most people are there with their family and
right. You're not Jets fans.
Actually, honestly, the Chargers were one of the worst ones for a while. I mean, they were like you didn't go to a Chargers game unless you wanted to get into a knife fight for a while.
Well, unless you're a Raiders fan, because then we took over the stadium because we had home field advantage anyway.
Yeah. Well, now it's a soccer stadium.
Right, yeah. And it's still full of Raiders fans when we play. It's great. I'm looking forward to our preseason game with the Rams at the Los Angeles Coliseum.
The old hometown.
It's the first time I've been excited about a preseason game at all.
But I would say overall, though, it's a great experience. And it's the loudest stadium in the NFL. Like, that people get crazy, especially during Raiders games. Yeah. It's insane in there. And it's right on top of the field and everything. And that's why the Chiefs defense, like when they have teams that are like high offensive teams, it kind of almost wastes. Like Vermeil just wasted the entire like Chiefs essence of like people going crazy because they're tired after 4 touchdowns,
right,
by the other team usually. So this year we'll see that
again.
That's our 12th man right there.
Again, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
What about barbecue spots in Kansas City?
I'd say Joe's Kansas City barbecue is probably the number one. I think most people agree with that.
Yeah,
there's a list you can go through that.
You've got to hit the Holy Trinity, which is Gates, Bryant's, Kansas City Joe's, Lawnside. There are 160 barbecue joints in the city, so it's really, what are you looking for that day?
And what's so special about Kansas City barbecue? I mean, I know there's like Eastern North Carolina barbecue, Western. There's that stuff they do in Texas that they call barbecue. I don't know what's special about Kansas City barbecue.
Well, if you want to get real specific, Kansas City barbecue is kind of a amalgam of a lot of them because the meat trails all led to Kansas City, where Texas is a lot of beef, and they're like German market beef sort of thing, and then the South is all pork for obvious reasons. Where Kansas City, and it's like a lot of African American history involved in that too, and it just has that kind of, the sauce is the famous sauce that is Kansas City barbecue sauce,
right?
And like and then just people give it there, I mean, like most places you find the best food are the places that like people really care about cooking. I mean, I'm sure there's people in Montana cooking barbecue, but people aren't flocking to Montana to eat it.
Right. Montana barbecue is not.
Yeah, it's not a thing,
Not on the thing.
But there's a long tradition there too of like Arthur Gate or Ollie Gates, yeah, like in
all the
Arthur Bryant's, yeah. I mean, it's been there might even be like the first barbecue restaurant, Arthur Bryant's, and it's it's like you can really go to all of them, but I go to Joe's probably over all of them. It's at a gas station, and you have to wait in line for like an hour to get the food and all that, but it's a fun line,
And you're carrying on that tradition here of Kansas City barbecue.
Yeah, we try. I mean, it's got some of the same similarities. That's where I'm from. But New York, you're a little free to add a little this and that.
Right.
So.
Right. Supply lines are a little tricky too. So.
Yeah, we're not bound by tradition up here. I mean.
Right.
And you're not as much in Kansas City as maybe you are in like Texas or Texas, like all the rub, like salt and pepper. That's it on everything, Like here, it's a lot of brown sugar, paprika. I mean, that salty stuff. Like drip down your chin sort of barbecue. So.
Right on. All right, man. Well, I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up, and me and Fitz will wrap up our show, and
we like to have you all come in. I mean, Raiders fans are not fine folks. It seems like so.
Hey, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. I gotta get back early so my parole officer doesn't. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When the schedule came out, you looked at when the Chiefs were going to play the Raiders 6 months in advance.
To me, it's black holes and fans and screaming coaches.
It looks like the end of the world by the time the kickoff starts. There are guys dressed with makeup and spikes, and you can always count on an extra squad car, too, to be in the parking lot to clean up the mess afterward.
Well.
What's happening?
Where the hell are we? We came into enemy territory.
Yeah, that was very interesting interview. It's funny because you know what? Like I said, I'm going to hand off that to you. You're the good interview guy, and while you were interviewing those,
I disagree. You're pretty good too.
Yeah, that's you have a nice flow. But as you're interviewing those, I'm doing quotation marks, Chiefs guys, they like to talk a lot of smack, in which, hey, I wouldn't expect anything other than that. I don't want to go into a rival team's bar and be treated nicely. Otherwise, they're going to be like, what the hell? Come on, grow some balls. But that being said, while while they were talking smack about our Raiders, I was looking around at all their Chiefs decor, and I was really admiring all their stuff dedicated to their Super Bowl wins. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. There's nothing there for that. Why? Because they have none. They're the best regular season team. Boom. Who, the Chiefs? That does it count if you beat the Vikings?
Well, ours counted when we beat the Vikings.
Yeah, but we're the Raiders.
All right.
Okay, let's scratch that. Hold on. Okay, yeah, all right. So one. We don't even count that. I don't even know what to say. Never mind.
Wow. I'll tell you what. It was fun. We're still here in little Kansas City, in New York. We got some good pictures we're going to be posting up.
Yeah, I hope when you look at them, you don't have epilepsy, because it might kick in. It's like a mustard and ketchup explosion in here.
Yeah, it's pretty red and yellow. A little bit of blue thrown in there, but yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot to ask them if they were Bo Jackson fans.
Well, I think we kind of got that at the bar there. It was like a love-hate. Like, yeah, he was. We loved it with the Royals, but.
Speaking of the bar, what are you drinking there?
This I don't even know. It's. I told him to hook me up with some kind of IPA.
All right. I'm drinking a saison. It's got cucumber in it.
How's that treating you? Are you making the move to San Francisco right now? Or?
Tastes very cucumbery. This is what they drink in Kansas City. He told me. I said, let me have what a Chiefs fan drinks. And he gave me this beer. It tastes like cucumbers.
I'm going to refer to our 2 podcasts ago when we were talking about beer and beer heads. And I'm going to say cucumber beer is kind of maybe we're pushing over the line here.
We might be. It's pretty refreshing, though.
I'm sure, but
have you had cucumber water?
Water? What's that? Oh, that's water's an ingredient in beer, I believe, right?
As Frank would say, you know how I feel about water.
It's good for a shower. But
you remember the movie The Other Guys with Will Ferrell?
I do.
Marky Mark. He doesn't like to be called Marky Mark, but
he's Marky Mark.
They were giving him cucumber water, and he was like, "Huh, what? I can't have any more of the cucumber water." Wahlberg, that's not what we're here for. The cucumber beer is not bad. I don't think it's going to be in regular rotation, but it's refreshing.
I'm sure it is.
Hey, get one.
Okay, wait. Now
Tom's getting
getting a cucumber beer. My world is now officially ended.
When in Kansas, do as the Kansans do. Drink cucumber beer.
Wow. Yeah, listen, there's so many things I want to say after that interview with those Kansas City guys. Am I going to say them? No, because even Murph will take us off the air because it's not acceptable for what I'm thinking right now.
I know, and it's a real pain in the you-know-what for me to bleep all that stuff out, so...
Yes, although I have to say my son and my wife do get a tremendous kick out of the amount of bleep horns that get thrown at me. You think I would learn by now?
Yeah, Fitz gets all the bleeps. You didn't get
toasted marshmallow.
Oh, Tom's drinking toasted marshmallow beer.
Okay, that might be worse than cucumber.
Hey, speaking of Tom, how about we do a little bit of truth with Tom right now?
You know what? As long as it doesn't involve marshmallow beer, I'm good with it.
All right.
Good luck with this one, folks.
Hey, it's Tom, and I'm back with the truth with Tom from we're in the bowels of Queens, New York, at John Brown Smokehouse, and surrounded by baby mustard yellow and some bizarre red. I don't know, it's kind of freaky. But this morning, I went out to breakfast, Chuck, and
where'd you go?
I went to the Bagel Tree in Franklin. Been going there for 20 years, right? Never screwed up my order. I walk in there today. There's one to-go order. I get home. Instead of my normal Taylor ham, cheese, pepper and ketchup on and everything.
Wait, for people outside of New Jersey, that's a New Jersey breakfast sandwich.
Yeah,
Taylor ham.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Think of Canadian bacon.
Yeah,
it's not the same, but that's
for you communists. That's pork roll.
Otherwise, people from South Jersey.
Yes. So I'm there, and I get home, and I get this sandwich that's got like an inch of scrambled eggs and a gallon of ketchup on it. Now, I don't know what kind of psychotic orders a sandwich like this in New Jersey, but somehow I ended up with it. And I'm telling you why I ended up with it. Because when I walked into the Bagel Tree, there was the old lady Chiefs fan there with her jacket on and her stupid car in the parking lot, and she looks like Costanza's mother. And she jinxed me.
That's the one we were talking about on the last show, the old senile lady.
Yes, the old senile lady was there, and it screwed my breakfast up. So thanks, asshole Chiefs fans. You wrecked my breakfast this morning. Cheers. That's my rant for the day. So that being said, since we're in Queens, we'll give a shout-out to Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah,
Jimmy
G.
Get well soon.
Get well soon, brother. And, you're in Queens. Stop down. John Brown Smokehouse. Good guy. Good place. Chiefs Bar. So they kind of have questionable morals. But, all in all, it's a good place.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it here.
Yeah, I had a good time. So until next week, kiddies, smoke them if you got them. It's 420 somewhere. Later.
And that was The Truth with Tom. So what do you think of The Truth with Tom this time?
Oh, my God. That might have been his best truth yet. And I get it. There's nothing worse than when you place your order and you get home and it's not what you ordered. How hard? Listen, it's a friggin' breakfast sandwich. How hard could it be to make?
I'll tell you what. I went to the TikTok diner once.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they don't sue me, but I'm about to lay into them. I went to the TikTok diner once after I played a show in New York with when I was with the Tombstone Brawlers, and I asked the waiter, like, that's his job, right? Serving people, he brings food, right? And I respect those people. They don't even make minimum wage. You give them good tips, blah, blah, blah. This kid gives me my food, and he's like, can I get you anything else? I said, yeah, I'd like some hot sauce, because I'm from California. I eat my food with hot sauce. That's what we do, right? I prefer Tapatio, but they don't have that out here usually, so whatever. Tabasco's fine. Just hot sauce. And he says, like, all right, I'll bring it right to you. I see him walk by again like 5 minutes. Now, meanwhile, I'm not touching my food. It's not ready yet. Doesn't have hot sauce. He comes back by, get you anything. I'm like, hey, can I get my hot sauce? Oh, I'm sorry about that, sir. I'll be right back. Nothing. I'm waiting. My friends are eating. Eating in front of me. Like, I would have done the same thing, but I couldn't. I didn't have my hot sauce yet. Then he comes back by again. I'm like, hey. Can I get my hot sauce? And nothing. So I never ate my food. Now, if you would have just said, listen, dude, I'm not bringing you any hot sauce. Eat it the way it is, I would have done it. But I'm waiting for the hot sauce. So I go up to the register afterwards, and I said, listen, I'm not paying for my food. Or what happened? I didn't eat it. I asked the kid for hot sauce. He kept telling me he was bringing it, and he never showed up with it. And it just sat there and got cold. I would have ate it if he would have said, no, I'm not bringing you any hot sauce. But so I understand having your experience of ordering food or your meal ruined.
Yeah, and listen, there's a lot of great, competent food service out there. I've worked in that industry myself, and just take pride in your job. Just do your job right. Listen, this is the order. It's not hard. He wasn't asking for any kind of crazy way out nut thing.
No, Tom didn't ask for scrambled egg sandwich. He asked for Taylor ham.
That'll be a whole nother podcast when we go into scrambled egg sandwiches in New Jersey, because that's just that's a whole nother thing. And
people don't understand. Outside of Jersey, there's a few things you got to know when you come here to visit. All right, if you want a coffee with cream and sugar, it's called regular. All right, outside of here, regular is probably black or something. But in Jersey, at least in North, I don't know what they do in South Jersey.
They don't even count. They're Philadelphia.
Right, that's Philly. Can't understand what they're saying. I don't know where that accent comes from. But I don't know what a hoagie is.
It's Philadelphia crap is what that is.
But it's a sub. It's not a hoagie. It's Taylor ham. It's not pork roll. And but when you come to Jersey, right, if you want coffee with cream and sugar, it's called regular.
Right.
Or the other, or there's light and sweet, and you can order that with, Splenda or whatever you want. Or there's black. But if you want black coffee, you got to say that.
Black. Yeah.
If you order an egg and cheese sandwich, which is a big deal out here, listen, if you order an egg and cheese sandwich, it's coming on what's called a round roll. If you want it on something else, you got to say that.
Absolutely.
All right? And you say salt and pepper or salt, pepper, ketchup. Not salt, pepper, and ketchup. Just salt, pepper, ketchup. Right?
And they'll actually, you know what? They'll take that onus off you, because most respectable places, if you say, listen, I want a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, they'll say salt, pepper, ketchup. You say yes or no. Very simple. You don't even have to. You don't even have to add that in. They'll throw that onus.
They'll ask you because it's assumed, and you can say, like I say, no, just salt, pepper, because ketchup is for communists.
Exactly. Ketchup on food. What are we in the Stone Age?
Right, maybe I might put it on a burger if I don't have any other condiments in the house.
There is Listen, the last time I put ketchup on a hamburger, I think I was still in grammar school, but before I realized that there's habanero sauce and whatnot out there, which is just
if I do it, I'm going to be angry about it. Yeah. But it's if you
just
know,
not going to do it. Just say no.
If I got no other condiments for some reason, I'll throw it on there just so it's not dry, but just a little bit. But yeah, and if you put it on your hot dog, you're.
Oh, don't even get me started. You know what? Germany just flipped over when you said ketchup on a hot dog. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's just terrible. That's terrible.
And the other thing in Jersey, like I said on the, posted on our Facebook page, we don't go to the beach. We go down the shore.
Absolutely.
We don't go down to the shore. We don't go at the shore. We go down the shore, and we don't go on holiday. We just go down the shore.
Yes,
that's it.
Yes, we're not European.
Right.
We're not whatever. And to put into a sentence, as a current topic of the Truth with Tom guy, yes, retired Kevin was down the shore having a cocktail on vacation while he was retired. And
also, I lost my train of thought. You screwed me up there, Fitz.
I'm sorry. Have we hit that moment?
Completely ruined me. I had something really profound to say.
Okay, hold on. Pork roll down the shore on holiday.
Oh.
Ketchup on hot dogs.
Oh.
Truth with Tom.
Nope, lost it. It's going to have to come back next week.
Royal Order of Buffalo hat for the president of the Black Holes Society.
Oh, I know where I was going.
You see, I told you. I knew I'd bring you back.
Everybody thinks about New York pizza, which is great. Because if you live in, like, California or Ohio,
Florida,
whatever, Florida, the worst pizza in New York is better than the best pizza that you have in your state. That's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
All right, but we also have good pizza in Jersey.
We have amazing.
So whatever
pizza.
New York says, it's not the water. But here's the deal: you don't eat it south of Morristown. If you go south of Morristown and you eat pizza, you might as well be in Philadelphia.
Yes. Yeah.
And that stuff they have in Chicago is not pizza.
No.
It's like quiche or something.
Yeah, it's
in Philly they have a thing called tomato pie. I just learned about this.
Well, South Jersey, Philly, same place.
My coworker, his wife is from Philly, so he's had to adopt some of these Philly things. Yeah. Yeah, Tom, you jump right in here.
See, here's my thing with tomato pies. I didn't know what it was, but years ago I was on the boardwalk. I went to this pizza place down on the boardwalk at Seaside called Maruca's. And it said Maruca's tomato pies. And I'm like, what's this tomato pie? I'm like, is it a pizza? Because it's got sauce, it's made out of tomatoes, whatever. Well, here's it. They put the cheese on first and then dump the sauce in a circle over top of it. It's kind of bizarre, but, for certain pockets down there, like the Trenton area, it works really good. So, I'm on the fence. If it's a good one, it's good. If it's bad, it's really bad. Get yourself a DiGiorno.
But they're calling it, at least they're not calling it pizza.
Yeah, they're not calling it pizza. It's a pie.
Chicago,
not like Chicago.
They made this whole new strange thing and decided it was just going to be called pizza.
Yeah. Chicago, they put yellow mustard on hot dogs in Chicago. What the hell is that?
Telling you.
It's wrong. That's what that is. It's wrong.
Now, I listen to some other podcasts, and there's the Pillaging podcast are having a debate right now about what kind of cheese goes on a hamburger, right?
Oh.
Now, they're from California. I'm from California, too, so I can't, But they like American cheese only on their hamburgers, on their cheeseburgers. What are your thoughts?
That I give a little bit of leeway to, because I am a big cheese. I love cheese. I love all kinds of cheese.
But American cheese isn't cheese.
No, it's processed cheese. But follow through with me. I like cheese.
I'm listening.
Usually, now for the record, I don't eat red meat anymore. So if I'm making hamburgers, it's for my son, and he loves cheeseburgers. So it's usually cheddar cheese, maybe like a garlic cheddar cheese type thing. It's never just the processed crap that I don't know. You take it out of the plastic wrapping, and it kind of like conforms to your fingers, and you have to like pull it off, and it's like almost like magnetic to your hand. Like it's not cheese.
But I understand their concept is it melts the best on a burger.
You know what? If you're cooking on the grill or if you're cooking on the stovetop, put real cheese on, close the lid, lower the heat, it melts fine. Same on the stove. If you're cooking it in a frying pan, lower the heat, put a lid on the frying pan, regular cheese melts just fine.
All right.
It's all good.
I'm with you there.
It's all good. Let's stop eating fake food, people. Come on. It's freaking processed cheese.
Pasteurized, processed cheese food product.
God almighty, it's cheese. It's not that intricate. It comes out of a cow. You're making it to cheese. I mean, we're gonna make it simpler than that. Come on.
Now, before we wrap up, because we really I gotta get the hell out of this place. This place is just killing me.
Yeah, I know.
This podcast is going to run long, but that's all right.
It is. You know what?
Everybody's going to listen because we're at the Chiefs bar.
Listen, like you just said, we need to get out of here because it's discerning, the colors, everything. And as soon as I get my one more free beer on the Chiefs owner of this bar, we're out of here.
Sounds good. But I got to ask you one more thing. When you go up to the bar, you going to have a beer? Or are you going to have one of Tom's cocktails that he talked about on the last show?
Listen, I'm going to have a beer only because it's only beer here. We've noticed that. We've realized they only serve beer here. That being said, I wanted to actually bring this up, and I'm glad I forgot about it for a moment. I'm glad you brought it in because I do like wine. I drink wine. I'm intrigued. I'm actually intrigued hearing about this wine, seltzer, and vodka mix. Never in my life have I heard such a thing, and then hearing Tom talk about it, I'm like, damn it, I got to try. I have to try this immediately.
Sounds kind of good.
I mean, is it red wine? Is it white wine? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. Of course, nothing matters with Tom. It just mix it all together and go with it.
Well, give him the mic.
Yes.
You can't hear Tom.
The wine and vodka thing started in the early 80s. With us, with the old wine coolers. The Sun Country wine coolers used to come in 2-liter bottles like Pepsi and Coke. So we would buy one of them, and we would dump out a bunch, and we would dump like a pint or a pint and a half of vodka in it and get on the bus to go, hit NYC to go see shows. So, you drink that on the way in, and by the time you get to Manhattan, you're well on your way. So that's where the whole wine and vodka thing came from me. It's like, well, this wine stuff is really good. It just needs vodka. And that's where it came from. So sorry about you wine snobs or Napa Valley people, but, and maybe if you started adding vodka, you'd have more fans. All right? Later.
Yeah, really, how do you argue with that? And I have to try it now. And it's actually funny because you talked about those wine coolers coming in the big 2-liter soda bottle things, and it brought me back to one of my shining moments as a teenager. As taking the bus to school, I was able to get our bus driver to stop at a liquor store and buy us those 2-liter bottles of wine coolers, bring them onto the bus, and we were drinking on the bus on the way to school.
Those were the days.
Listen. Kids, is this something that you want to follow? No. Is it something I'm proud of? Yeah, yes, because I'm a freaking 16-year-old kid getting a grown-up man bus driver to buy us booze on a bus trip to school.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Things have changed.
It's so much.
It's like when the Vandals used to be a punk band and Metallica used to play heavy metal.
They were for what, like 10 minutes, right? The Vandals, or
maybe 20, a couple albums, couple albums there. Peace Through Vandalism and Anarchy Burger. That was just a song on that record.
Yeah, and like you said, and then
Mohawk Town, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you brought up earlier, TSOL, all of a sudden playing like glam rock hair metal, whatever you want to call it. You know.
Yeah, TSOL. But now they're back playing punk rock again because they know.
Yeah.
They finally, it took them 20 years to figure out. Nobody wants to hear us play this crap.
Listen. This is a public service announcement.
They want to hear Code Blue, and that's it.
Here, public service announcement to any aspiring bands, groups listening to our podcast. If you have a great sound, a cool sound, and people love it, and that's what gets you there, just stick with it. Nobody wants to hear you. Nobody, listen.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
No. Listen, and I'm going to tell you, we'll get like Splatterhead said about Metallica. Look at Rush. Nobody wants to hear anything from Rush after Moving Pictures. They went on this whole tirade of we're changing our sound, we're doing this. Nobody, it sucked. Nobody, when you go to a Rush concert, nobody wants to hear anything past Tom Sawyer. Prior to that, great music. After that, nobody cares. You wasted time on like 12 albums that everybody hated.
Right. And Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
if Roger Waters isn't in the band, shut the hell up. Nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
Don't put out any more records. Don't play any more shows.
Yeah. Listen, as much as I love Gilmour,
he's a great guitar
player. He's one
player.
of my favorite
great
guitarists.
Singer.
Great singer. Post Roger Waters, good. This song's good. That song's good. That song's not bad. As far as albums go, listen. After The Wall, it just kind of went down from there.
Which is kind of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, we are spiraling into the abyss.
Let's wrap it up. Pack this crap up. And go back to where Raiders live.
Get out
North Jersey.
We have to get out of the land of ketchup and mustard condiments.
Let's get back to the cottage.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, you've been listening to Splatterhead and Fitz. And a little bit more Tom than you usually get, which is awesome. We got to get another mic. We got to get another mic and have all three of us on here.
Yeah, I see this growing into. We need to have more of a trio here going, and because you can never get. Listen, can you ever get enough knowledge? No. And Tom has the knowledge. He's got the. He wants to give. He wants to give. You just have to be able to take it.
There's no such thing as too much Tom.
There is not.
And on that note. Yeah. His girlfriend and ex-wife might disagree. Let's get another marshmallow or cucumber beer and get the out of here.
Oh yes. Good night, folks.
All right, this is Tom. I guess we're going to be wrapping up our show here. If you have any questions for me or you want to call in and talk about anything you want on the Raider Fan Club Blitz, our number is 732-798-0257. Feel free. Ask me about Mr. Skittles. I love Mr. Skittles. We're also going to give a shout out to the Irish Cottage, our home base. They are located at 602 Route 23 North in Franklin, New Jersey. And their number is 973-827-2090. And give us a call. Let us know what you think. Questions, comments, anything you want to say. Feel free. Talk to you next week. Bye. Good? Oh, I got it.